Hey, programming note here on That's Good Broncos. This episode I posted on my main channel, That's Good Sports. The prediction, I posted it Friday, yesterday. This is the same prediction as that. I posted it there to promote the That's Good Broncos channel so that people knew this is where most of the Broncos videos live. So if you already watched it, feel free to not watch this video. I don't want you to feel like I tricked you. That's not what this was about. Or if you want to help me get the views, just click mute and let the video play through.
It's about 5 minutes and I do this. So,
Falling asleep after 5 minutes? Now you know how we feel watching your offense, Pat.
I mean, I still use a pencil, you know? I really mean that.
A pencil? Use a damn pen, you coward. Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon. I once emailed this photo of myself to my entire company in an accidental reply all HR email about workplace employee conduct perna. And I still didn't get fired, because I'm charming. The Raiders lost their head coach this week, but probably gained back their souls. Like the movie Soul, but with the football team instead of a jazz musician. Okay, Pixar, a jazz musician who doesn't smoke weed? How am I supposed to believe that plot line? Now, both Denver and Vegas started 3-0, but both teams are on a 2-game skid. And I don't know if Gruden's departure helps or hurts the team this week. I think in the long term, it definitely helps. Jon Gruden was like a benign growth on the top of your head. It didn't help you make good big picture decisions, but it did allow you to add 2 inches to your height on your dating profile. The good news for Raiders fans is that I have no clue who this Broncos team is. The better news, NFL teams seem to play better after firing their head coach during the season, and I'll drop that info in my X Factors at the end of this episode. It is the Broncos Raiders preview. That's good sports. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel, especially if you want Broncos videos thrown in your face. Today's episode is sponsored by DraftKings Sportsbook. Another week of NFL football means another shot to win big at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. New customers can bet just $1 on any NFL game and win $100 in free bets if either team scores a point. The last 0-0 tie in the NFL was in 1943, see? So I'd say this is a no-brainer. DraftKings customers can also get skin in the game with new same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win at DraftKings, which is safe, secure, and reliable. And best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. DraftKings Sportsbook. Do it! Use code DNVR when you sign up! Code DNVR! Alright, we got Vic Fangio versus the ghost of Jon Gruden. This is really the test of the century for Vic Fangio. It's the question everyone has been wondering. Can Vic outcoach a team without a head coach? The only way timing could be better is if this game were on Halloween. Technically, the Raiders do have an interim head coach in Rich Bisaccia, and this sounds like a showdown between two guys who spend a lot of time making meatballs. But how much can you really do with 5 days to prepare? The thing about Gruden was that I really believed he was a good play caller and good at most in-game decisions, but he left this team with a dearth of talent on defense thanks to some absurd draft picks. That said, their new defensive coordinator, Gus Bradley, has made the most of that limited talent. Kind of like me on this show. Ultimately, I think the chaos of this week will give Denver the coaching advantage. I mean, it has to, right? I feel like Vic Fangio is sitting pretty pleased with himself that he never learned how to use email in the first place. If Denver doesn't take advantage, this might have to be the week where we start talking about making changes at all the coaching levels. Just like when Gruden talked about Teddy Roosevelt.
Bridgewater, man. Bridgewater's another junior. He's out of Miami, Florida, and he really helped turn Louisville from a basketball team to a football powerhouse.
Wait a second, you're telling me he took a bunch of basketball players and made them play football? I don't see that happening.
So yes, big Vic advantage, half point. We got Teddy Roosevelt versus Derek. What kind of car am I gonna be today? A BMW or a BM Crapsicle? Derek Carr tends to play well against the Broncos. If you don't believe me, let's look at the numbers. He's 7-6 against the Broncos all time. Has thrown 14 touchdowns to just 6 interceptions and is averaging over 7 yards per attempt. Better than you would expect for a quarterback that lost his first 3 games against the Broncos. This year, Carr has gone from an MVP candidate in the first 3 weeks to averaging less than 6 yards per attempt in his last 2 outings, to now losing his offensive play caller on Monday. The NFL moves very quickly. Bridgewater, Roosevelt to me, was no different last week than he really was in the first 3 games that the Broncos won. I thought he was accurate short, medium, and downfield, and aside from the last play of the game, took care of the ball. Teddy is a product of the offense, not the other way around. To maximize his output, you have to put him in good situations like they did early in the season. Even after the last 2 losses, Teddy is 9th in passer rating, 12th in QBR, 14th in expected points added, 6th in air yards per attempt, and 10th in on-target percentage. And I bet if you asked Broncos fans if they would take those numbers, whether it was Locke or Bridgewater, they would tell you we're going to the playoffs. Also, thank you Andrew Mason for tweeting that. I definitely did not find those numbers all myself. I'll give Carr, though, a half a point. Mostly because I feel sorry for him. Broncos offense versus Raiders defense. The Broncos repeatedly shot themselves in the foot on offense last week. Whether it was a couple delay of game penalties, holding, or throwing a fucking fade route to their shortest player, the Broncos left at least 10 points on the board against the Steelers. And shot themselves in the foot is actually too polite. They sawed that shit off slowly, like James Franco in 127 hours. The difference being, as soon as they freed themselves, they immediately stepped in a fucking bear trap. Now there's an obvious spot where the Broncos need to improve. 3rd down. The Broncos have converted just 28% of their 3rd downs, which is dead last in the league. And of course, to be bad on 3rd down, you have to be bad on 1st and 2nd down, which gets you into 3rd and impossible. Pat Shurmur's play calling needs to get better.
I mean, I still use a pencil.
Needs to get more creative and needs to adapt to what's working rather than what's in the game plan. It's not going to be easy to fix against the Raiders, who are currently 9th in 3rd down defense, allowing just 35% conversion rate, which is still better than what the Broncos are doing on their own. One thing the Broncos can do better is give the ball to Javonte Williams, who's the 2nd highest rated rookie running back in the league, according to Pro Football Focus, for what that's worth. The first is Kenneth Gainwell. And honestly, how do you compete with a name like Gainwell? Javonte is averaging 4.6 yards per carry and has ripped off long runs in the last couple games. As for the Raiders defense, you have to focus on a defensive line that's a lot improved from a year ago. Max XX Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue have 2 sacks apiece, but Solomon Thomas actually leads the team with 2.5 sacks. Although Crosby has 13 QB hits, more than twice as many as anyone else on the team, and the Raiders did the impossible. They resurrected Casey Hayward's career. Usually, division rival players go to the Raiders to die a slow, quiet death, but Pro Football Focus has Hayward graded as the #1 corner in the NFL right now. No picks for my Hayward son yet, but he's allowing a putrid 42.4 passer rating when targeted. He's basically playing like Bryce Callahan right now. You never hear his name, and when you do, it's a pass defended or a tackle for like a 3-yard gain. Shout out to Raiders corner Nate Hobbs, their rookie, who's actually been pretty damn good. So glad I don't have to credit Gruden for nailing that pick. The way to exploit this team is not necessarily in the secondary. Even with Damon Arnett and Jonathan Abram on the injury report, the Raiders are allowing just 5.6 net yards per pass attempt, which is third best in the league. You've got to run it against them, and based on the Broncos' run-pass balance in the last couple games, I wonder if they have the patience to even do that. No, I don't. Of course they don't. Raiders get a half point here as I can feel the shurmuring starting already. Oh God, stop the shurmuring. Broncos defense versus Raiders offense. The Broncos allowed just 26 points in the first 3 games, and in the last 2, they've allowed 50 combined. It sort of matches the Raiders offense, which scored 90 points in the first 3 games before slowing down and putting up just 23 in their last 2 outings. So both of these units need to rebound, and at this point, it's just a matter of who you trust to find their footing in this game. The Broncos defense is getting Ronald Darby back, and it's not a moment too soon because Kyle Fuller struggled mightily against the Steelers, giving up a long touchdown as well as a pass interference call that set up a second touchdown. The Broncos, they need to try something different against Darren Waller this time around. Last time they faced him, Waller had 9 catches for 117 yards and a tug in the 2020 season finale. Getting Darby back will allow them to get creative on defense and possibly give Patrick Surtain a shot to contain the 6'6" tall drink of water the Raiders call tight end. Another big concern is Henry Ruggs, who's had a nice bounce-back season after a disappointing one during his rookie campaign. Ruggs has become a scary deep threat, averaging over 20 yards per reception, and he obviously has the speed to force defenses to play back. Of course, why would I worry about the Broncos getting beat deep after the last 2 games? Oh, right. Honestly, Denver should try and make a trade for Hunter Renfrow before the trade deadline. And not even for third in Renfrow, who does have 5+ catches in every game this season, joining some elite receivers, but to play him on defense. That dude can fucking tackle. After last week, this matchup is a wash. The kind of wash, though, that no matter how long you scrub, you still feel dirty. Ain't that right, Mark Davis? All right, we've got some X factors to consider, and I got 2 big ones today. The unexplainable boost bad teams get when their head coach gets fired during the season. Since 2010, when head coaches are fired, NFL teams have gone 13-8 following the firing. 13-8 is also what we will call a wild card team when the NFL finally gets its 21-game season. It's not just their first game after the firing either. Teams tend to play a little bit better in every category after a head coach is fired. Win percentage goes up, turnovers go down, and overall team efficiency goes up. Here's what worries me about the Raiders. Usually head coaches are fired because they and their teams that they've been coaching have, a losing record. I'll chalk the Raiders' loss last week up to a distraction. I don't really remember the last time a good team had their head coach fired mid-season. And I think the Raiders are an all right team, and they are heading into uncharted territory here, which scares me. X Factor 2, Mike Shanahan. The one reason I am not worried about the firing momentum that I just detailed is that the Denver Broncos are finally inducting Mike Shanahan into the Ring of Fame on Sunday. Jon Gruden was just removed from the Buccaneers Ring of Honor, and while it's fucked up Gruden was given that honor in Tampa before Mike Shanahan received that here in Denver, I think balance will finally be restored in Broncos country. This is the biggest X factor I think we've ever had. Plus, Mike Shanahan invented icing the kicker. I was at the game where he did that to, Janikowski and the Raiders. And I will be at this game Sunday. Again, come say hello and help me feel confident about picking the Broncos to win 29-27. They will never score 30 points again, but it will be close Sunday, and I expect Fangio to ice the Raiders kicker for the game winner. Yeah. Gotta hype ourselves up some way, huh? Thanks for watching. Make sure you sub here. I've got more videos you can watch. They're on the screen right now. And that's it. Bye.